She called me once. I declined. I was in the middle of something. A project. A deadline. A moment I thought was urgent. She called a second time. I declined again. Let it go to voicemail. Then a third. A fourth. Each time, I hit the ignore button, prioritizing my own chaos over her unknown crisis. Still, I couldn't answer. But when the phone rang for the fifth time, something inside me stopped. A quiet voice, deep in my spirit, whispered, "Pick that call, David. Something is wrong." So I answered. The moment the line connected, I froze. All I could hear was crying. But it wasn't just hers. I could hear children in the background. Thin. Weak. Desperate. Crying from hunger. Crying from sickness. Crying from exhaustion. Then her voice came through. Trembling. Barely a whisper. "David. I'm tired. I've reached the end. Nothing is working anymore." Then she broke down. Complete. Total. Collapse. She told me she had prayed. She had fasted. She had begged. She had fought with everything she had left. Yet, she was holding a very sick child, while another had gone without food for 2 days. Then she said something that shook me to my core. "David. I don't know why I'm still alive." I sat there. Silent. The weight of those words crushed me. As we talked, the layers of her suffering peeled back. It became clear. Terrifyingly clear. That she was carrying more pain than anyone should ever have to bear alone. She was homeless. Rejected by her own family. Sleeping outside. In the open. With her children. Watching her life collapse around her like a house of cards. I asked her where she was. The moment she told me the name of that place, I shifted. From a listener to a man of action. I said, "Please, Sarah. Take your child to the hospital. Now." She ran. No money. No strength. Just a mother. Carrying her child. And a fragile hope. That somehow, somewhere, things would change. I stayed on the phone. Guiding her. Encouraging her. I could hear her breathless pleas as she reached the hospital doors. The frantic voices of the nurses. The sound of her child being taken from her arms. Then. Silence. Hours passed. An agonizing eternity of waiting. Finally, the diagnosis came back. Acute pneumonia. While that tiny child was fighting for breath, the mother was fighting for a reason to keep going. I looked at the woman I was speaking to. The one standing in that cold hospital corridor. Wondering. How did life change so drastically? This woman once had a good job. A career that meant something. She worked for UNICEF. She had stability. She had dreams. She had dignity. Today. She was unrecognizable. A shadow of her former self. And that's the reality many people are living with. People are struggling silently. Carrying burdens we know nothing about. Smiling in public. While falling apart in private. Yet when they finally speak, we often judge before we listen. Sometimes people don't need advice. Sometimes they don't need lectures. Sometimes they simply need someone. Someone who will pause long enough to hear their story and remind them that they are not alone. If there's one lesson I took from that call, it's this. Be kinder. Listen more deeply. Don't assume everyone is okay. Because sometimes, the simple act of answering a phone call can become the first step toward saving a life. Sarah is still fighting. The road ahead is long. The scars remain. But she is no longer fighting alone. In my own reflection, I was reminded of the scriptures. The lessons that guide us in carrying each other's burdens. Galatians 6 verse 2 tells us, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." We were not meant to walk this path alone. And to those who feel they have reached the end, like Sarah did, remember the words of the psalmist. Psalm 34 verse 18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and saves the crushed in spirit. He sees you. He hears you. And in Matthew 25 verse 40, Jesus reminds us, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Let us not only hear the call of the weary, but answer it. May we always remember that our ears are not just for hearing noise, but for listening to the cries of those who need hope. Be kinder. Listen more deeply. And when the phone rings, answer. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, sometimes the greatest gift you can give is your time and a listening ear. God bless you. Until next time.